You will need an atmospheric test, which should be at FRA level 2 or 1. You must ensure these things here. Along with that, you will have the double A signatures below. After the double A signatures, you will have the PI or permit endorsement signatures. Once all these things are filled out and your prerequisite controls are decided, then the permit will be approved. It will be left with your AAA, then AAA will sign it there. Then it will return to AAA for permit authorization. So AA will ensure all the pre-decision control and sign your permit and make it live. Now we go to the next page, which is the most important. Here, which GP is taking the permit at what time? Until when will his permit close? Who will be the next GP? All the details are on this page. A full fail will be done so that the validity of the permit can be assured for 7 days. Next, we will talk about the permit closure. After the permit closure, when you have completed the work, including housekeeping, all the documents, the permit closure will be done on this page section. In addition to the 3 types of permits in the EOM, why do we need these certificates and how many types? We have 10 types of images. Let's discuss why images are needed with the permit. These are supporting documents needed for any permit. Isolation, vehicle entry, atmospheric testing, confined space entry, execution certificates. These must accompany your permit as supporting documents. Next, there are complementary PTW requirements. For confined space work, an isolation certificate is essential. This validates or activates your confined space permit. Confined space entry or execution certificate is a set of supporting documents that should be mandatory with your permit. After that comes complementary to PTW. If we have to work in an area and have to work in a confined space, we must have an isolation certificate for the confined space. Then this will play a complementary part in making your confined space permit valid or live. It will take a complementary part to weld or like this confidence permit of yours. Independent docs mean any certificate will have its own existence. Certificates are valid for 7 or 28 days based on type. This varies with your work. For excavation, get an excavation certificate. For atmospheric testing, get a confined space entry certificate. For shifting materials, get a vehicle entry certificate. A lifting plan is a supporting document. What are the permit requirements for attaching a confined space entry certificate? So for this, you need an atmospheric test to be repeated in a confined space. So you will need a confined space entry certificate. If you need to shift materials somewhere, you will need a vehicle entry certificate. A lifting plan is not a certificate, but it is part of your supporting documents. Now, what requirements will there be for the attachment of the confined space entry certificate with the permit? First, any work requiring entry into a confined space is critical. Limited entry, oxygen deficiency, or toxic gases define a confined space. Get a permanent entry certificate before work. Any area that fulfills the properties of a confined space where there could be oxygen deficiency, limited entry and exit, or the presence of toxic gases will be classified as a confined space. Before working in such a confined space, you will need a confined space entry certificate along with the permit.